Buenos días, my friend. Hoy vamos... ¿Qué me ocurrió? ¡Oh! Mi brazo. Sí. Este fin de semana estaba subiendo una montaña muy alta cuando me caí y me lastimé el brazo. Sí, es una lástima, pero no me duele mucho. Estoy bien y ya no necesito la venda. So, yeah, I hurt my arm, but my backpacking trip to Colombia was amazing. I'm just thankful my friends could take me to the hospital and explain what happened to the doctor. Actually, today I'm going to teach you how to talk about common injuries and accidents so you will be prepared. Just in case. By the end of today's lesson, you will be able to describe common injuries in the past tense and talk about what was happening when an injury occurred. Make sure you have a copy of the activity ¿Qué te ocurrió? From pages 4 and 5 of the PDF so you can follow along and take notes. Are you ready? ¡Vámonos! So, last week we answered the question, ¿Qué te ocurre? But this week we will be answering, ¿Qué te ocurrió? What happened to you? This answer requires you to speak in the past, as we learned in the previous unit. Maybe you don't remember, but I got you covered. In step 1 of your PDF sheet, I've included a quick refresher. So pause the video here, go review the info in step 1, and come back when you're done. Got it? Cool. Now, to answer ¿Qué te ocurrió?, you are also going to need to know some basic injuries. So let me help you with that. Here are some common actions to refer to injuries. Lastimarse, quemarse, golpearse, cortarse, fracturarse, torcerse. Do you recognize anything special about these verbs? Maybe you noticed that they all end in se. And can you try to remember what that means? It means they are things that we do to ourselves, in this case, by accident. Let's see what these injuries are in English, and you make sure to take notes in step 2 of your sheet. Lastimarse means to hurt oneself. What do you think quemarse means? It means to burn oneself, by accident, of course. Golpearse means to hit, like when a little kid hits their head. Now, you might remember that cortar means to cut, as in cortar el césped. But what do you think cortarse means? It means to cut oneself, like when you're cooking and you accidentally cut your finger. And fracturarse means... Yes, it means to fracture or break something on your body. And torcerse means to twist. Now, repeat these after me. Lastimarse, quemarse, golpearse, cortarse, fracturarse, torcerse. Excelente! All right, now let's see some of these injuries in 3 different scenarios. Pretend you are either the person getting hurt or someone who witnessed it, and practice describing what happened. Here's our first scenario. If you were the woman in the video and you were going to describe what happened to you, you would say, Me corté el dedo. I cut my finger. Say it with me. Me corté el dedo. Remember that the me indicates that you did the action to yourself, even if it was an accident. Also, notice we are using the past ending because we are talking about an event that already happened. Now, let's look at another scenario. How would you describe what happened to the woman in this scenario? Would you say, Ella se quemó la mano, or Ella se torció el tobillo? You could describe the situation by saying, Ella se torció el tobillo. Practice with me. Ella se torció el tobillo. All right, one last scenario. If you were the person in the video and the doctor asked you, ¿Qué te ocurrió? How would you describe what happened to your knee? Look at your sheet for help. You would say, Me lastimé la rodilla. Say it after me. Me lastimé la rodilla. Muy bien. So now you know how to talk about your injuries, but what about how the injury occurred? Because no one is just sitting on the couch and then all of a sudden gets hurt. In every scenario we looked at, each person was doing something when they got injured. So let me show you how to talk about what was happening so that you can put your story together. To express what was happening, we are going to use this very simple formula. You will use the verb estar followed by the activity you were doing. Because we are talking about what was happening, estar is going to look a little different than we're used to. Estar will look like this. Yo estaba, tú estabas, ella estaba, nosotros estábamos, ellos, ellas estaban. Muy bien. Next, we will follow with the activity that was happening. Let's take 3 activities like cocinar, to cook, correr, to run, and subir, to go up or climb. To show that these were ongoing when you got hurt, you are going to take cocinar and any other ar verb and replace the ar ending with ando. So you have cocinando, cooking. Take a quick pause and make a note of this on step 3 of your sheet. For correr and subir and all ir verbs, you will replace both endings with yendo. So you have corriendo and subiendo, running and climbing. Think of the ando and yendo endings like the ing ending in English. So let's put it together. If you were to say, I was cooking, you would say, yo estaba cocinando. To say, I was running, you would say, yo estaba corriendo. So how would you say, I was going up or climbing using subir? You probably got it. Yo estaba subiendo. And this is how estar plus inactivity will help explain what was happening when you got hurt. So let's look back at that first scenario. Earlier, you said, me corté el dedo. How could you explain that this happened to you while you were cooking? Use the verb cocinar to cook and pause the video to think and answer on step 4 of your PDF sheet. Let's check your answer. You would say, yo estaba cocinando y me corté el dedo. I was cooking and I cut my finger. Repite conmigo. Yo estaba cocinando y me corté el dedo. Excelente. How about scenario 2? Earlier, you said, ella se torció el tobillo. How could you use correr to better explain what was happening? You could have said, ella estaba corriendo y se torció el tobillo. Okay, last one. You already figured out how to say I hurt my knee. Yo me lastimé la rodilla. How could you expand on this to provide more details about what happened using subir una montaña? Do you think you have it? Yo estaba subiendo una montaña y me lastimé la rodilla. Let's hear you say it. Yo estaba subiendo una montaña y me lastimé la rodilla. Excellent work today, my friend. Now, if there is an emergency and someone gets injured, you can help explain what happened. Let's recap what you learned today. In today's lesson, you learned to talk about injuries that happened in the past and describe what was happening when the accident occurred using estar and a verb with ando or yendo. I'm really proud of your effort today. Make sure you work on the PDF activities for every lesson, and I promise your Spanish is going to get much better. See you next class. Ciao. Nos vemos. Hey, hey.